Hello everyone. First of all, let me to introduce myself. My name is Lukman Hakim. I am binusian learning student. On this occasion, I would like to present our paper entitled Evaluation of Online Field Practice Information System referred to Agile Method. In the preparation of this paper, I and my teammates, Ms. Lutri Fevlina, were guided by our lecturer, Dr. Dinafitriamurad. The background of this paper is the Indonesian government's program in overcoming the gap and mismatch between industrial needs and the readiness and ability of education graduates. As a form of the company's commitment and contribution to the increasing link and match between education and industry, the company, through the CSR program, provide field practice activity in the company. To prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus from spreading, the company has canceled field practice activities from April 2020 to June 2021. To keep field practice activities running and minimize the spread of the COVID-19 virus, the company has changed field practice activities carried face-to-face to online field practice activities. The goal of this paper is to develop an online field practice information system using the Agile Scrum method and evaluate the effect of an online field practice information system on the level of availability of field practice activities in the company. The research question of this paper is there any influence of the online field practice information system, in this case online mentoring activities X1 and feature in the application X2 on the level of availability of field practice activities in the company Y toward the fulfillment of corporate social responsibility (CSR) programs. The literature review that we use is as follows. The first is the implementation of field practice, which is limited online, make field practice considered less than optimal, so it is necessary to make other approaches in implementing field practice during the COVID-19 pandemic so that the desired results are in line with expectation. The second literature review is there is a simultaneous positive and significant effect between field practice and student self-confidence in work readiness and student motivation to enter the industry. The third literature review is one form of industry service to the community during the pandemic is holding online field practice activities to equip students to face the industry and contribute to society with the knowledge they have gained while studying in college. The fourth literature review is Field Practice Information System assists students in field practice activities starting from the preparation process to implementation and reporting. And the fifth literature review is Field Practice Monitoring System makes distribution activities of students to companies and the assessment of all student activities become more easier and more efficient. The method of developing an online field practice information system using the Agile Scrum method. Implementation of the Agile Scrum framework in the development of an online field practice information system through the following steps: stakeholder input, B. User stories, C. Product backlog, D. Sprint planning meeting, E. Sprint backlog, F. Sprint and daily Scrum meeting, G. User release, H. Sprint review and retrospective. Stakeholder input was recorded in the interview activities. All input that will be accommodated to be translated into user stories. Then, create a user stories based on stakeholder input and summarize them into proposed procedure and determine system requirement. And the following table is a table of functional requirements generated from the user stories. There are 3 users, there are There are three user roles in the application: participant, mentor, and admin, where each user role will have its own module that suits its need. For example, a user participant will have a registration module that is used to fill in bio, choose faculties and study program, upload file, and read approval announcement. The product backlog contains a list of features that have a high priority and are planned to be worked on in the sprint. The sprint planning meeting validates the point that will be earned by the developer on each card taken in a sprint. The point earned by the developer will become the key performance indicator that will be reviewed in the sprint retrospective. The sprint planning review is contained in the sprint backlog as shown in the following table. Doing sprint execution, then reporting it at the daily Scrum meeting. Release ready-to-use feature to user and lock them into the update log. The figure above show the participant dashboard display feature that display participant biodata, registration, and the figure below show admin dashboard to display a summary of number of registrants and the number of registrants per study program. Furthermore, the Scrum Master facilitates a sprint review to receive feedback and input if change, improvement, and enhancement to feature are needed. Change, fix, and improvement to features that have been released will enter the next sprint. After the sprint review ends, a sprint retrospective is carried out to create the next sprint strategies. Evaluate the suitability of the purpose of making an online field practice information system to provide online field practice activities to fulfill the corporate social responsibility (CSR) program. Measuring the level of availability of the implementation of field practice through an online field practice active information system by conducting a survey via Google Form with a respondent profile of 90% student, 8% of employees who become mentor, and 2% of employees who become admins. Questionnaires are online mentoring activities through the information system X1 and the feature contained in the information system X2. The types of question are used positive Likert scale question with a score of score 1 is strongly disagree, score 2 is disagree, score 3 doubtful, score 4 agree, and score 5 strongly agree. And 100% of respondents fill in and return survey the result. Then conducted the first validity test and got the result that all questions are valid. Then conducted the reliability test and got the result that alpha cronbach is equal with 0.71, which means that the questions are high reliability. Then conducted t-test and got the result that significance of online mentoring X1 is 0.03 less than 0.05, which means have an influence on Y. And significance of application or X2 is 0 less than 0.05, which means have an influence on Y. Then conducted if test with the result significance is 0 less than 0.05. It means X1 and X2 simultaneously influence Y. Model summary: X1 and X2 have an effect on 63.4% on the availability of field practice activities in the company. So that with the availability of field practice through an online field practice information system, companies can carry out the company's CSR program. The conclusion: the online field practice information system is able to provide field practice activities in the company so that the company's CSR program in supporting the link and match of the government program between education and industry can still be carried out during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the online field practice information system, in this case online mentoring activities X1 and the feature in the application X2, have an influence of 63.4% on the availability of field practice activity in the company, or Y variable. Thank you.